Clasico, or Classic, as they say in Barcelona. There's something special. The plot always changes. Who would have thought at the start of this season that we'd be in a position where Real Madrid are looking so far up the table to Barcelona? As the lads come out onto this battle royal game, they have undoubtedly tension built into them. Their stomachs, tummies filled with butterflies the size of seagulls, no matter that you're a 5-time winner of the Ballon d'Or. The nerves will be palpable, unquestionably, and they will raise goosebumps on their arms the size of coconuts. The fans jammed in, Phil. It never ever ceases to give us resplendent football. Some surprises in the lineups for the Royal Whites as they come in sporting another world championship. Real Madrid, world champions, European champions, La Liga champions, led by a Costa Rican, the brilliant Keylor Navas.
Keylor Navas, will it be his final Clasico? We'll talk more about this as La Liga turns. Varane and Ramos in the back. If there is a surprise, it's in the midfield. Mateo Kovacic gets the start. Isco to the bench. We'll talk about the tactics behind that, and Benzema and Ronaldo up front. Gareth Bale is back and available, but starting this one on the bench for Zinedine Zidane. Meanwhile, Ernesto Valverde still looking for his first Clasico scalp, trying to avoid being the first manager for Barcelona to lose 3 in a row since back in 1940. Jose Sanchez Martinez, the man with the whistle here today. Raul Caballero, Jose Gallego. Well, so nice they named him twice. Gallego Garcia on the line. Gallego Gambin will be the 4th official. Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, some saying he might be the best goalkeeper on earth. Dates like today will help determine that. Sergio Roberto at right back. Vermaelen in because he's the only healthy one, but he is a bit of a talisman for Barcelona. We'll tell you why. No real surprise from Valverde as Messi and Suarez up front.
The eyes of the world on Cristiano and, of course, Lionel Messi, Phil, but there's a smorgasbord of world-class players out there for us to enjoy here.
Before we get underway, let's head down pitch side for the third member of our broadcast crew. And Kevin Egan, what do you have for us?
Yeah, thank you very much, Phil and Ray. You've put me on a plane out of Miami and you've landed me here in football heaven. The tifo saying Blanca Navidad, a white Christmas inside the Santiago Bernabeu. They've won 5 titles, Real Madrid, in 2017. The fans on the street calling this a final, a must-win game for Zinedine Zidane. And the atmosphere is absolutely sensational here on the sideline.
Beautiful look down on this pitch, and we'll talk more about it. It is a hybrid pitch that has been rather well maintained, and this, with 2 weeks rest, is ready for this spectacle in front of us. Barcelona and Real Madrid. We are underway. The 33-time champion Real Madrid in white at home, defending the goal to the left, and the Blaugrana of Barcelona, 24-time champions, and looking to open up a 14-point lead over their arch rivals, moving from right to left. Phil Shane alongside Ray Hudson, Jose Hernandez, Pablo Marinho on our Spanish language side, and we are glad you woke up early. It is 1 o'clock local time. It is 8 p.m. in Beijing, 7 in the morning on the East Coast, and for those of you brave souls out west, well, I hope you got some sleep. 4 a.m. in the morning, but what a way to wake up, Ray.
Well, we will be entertained as we always are. Everybody expecting goals galore in this game. Maybe a little bit more tense than that. Real Madrid, Sergio Ramos, the gladiator at the back, of course, and Cristiano's in.
Looking to try and cut past Piqué.
Nicely.
Back quickly, Roberto into his right foot. Lays it off for Kroos.
Nice.
Carvajal. Bangs it off of Jordi Alba. It will stay in play, but then shields it across the goal line for the corner.
Wonderful build-up by Real Madrid. Cristiano setting the table. Thought that Carvajal could have played that one first time and really put Barcelona on that turnaround defence. But that one touch seemed to let him down, but it leads to a good corner for probably the best set-piece taker in all of world football. Toni Kroos usually delivers Kuanua diamonds.
As you can see, the shadows going into the eyes of Marc-Andre ter Stegen when he's looking downfield. Whipped in from Kroos, headed back post. 2 headers equals a goal, and it's Ronaldo, but they're going to wave it off.
Too eager in the end, but you cannot blame him. It's beautifully flighted in, as I said. Toni Kroos drops in, pint of glass, pint of beer into a shot glass at the other end of the bar. It's a wonderful ball from Kroos, beautifully attacked and won easily by Real Madrid. And Cristiano just a step offside. It looked in lifetime, well offside in the end. But look at that ball, Phil. That is painted into perfection, and it's beautifully won by Varane. And Cristiano uses the upright as his reference point and bullets home the blue sky, but he's off.
Would have been a brilliant way to start. Credit to Luis Suarez, credit to Thomas Vermaelen stepping up. If they hadn't, Real Madrid would already be in front. A vital game for Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane coming out this week, Ray, and saying even if they lose, La Liga is not over.
I agree. 5 months to play, Phil. There's 5 months football still to play. So whatever happens today, it's going to be a big win or a big point for either team. But it isn't over. You cannot predict that far down the road. You saw some of the games that Real Madrid have lost. You never would have suspected. For me, Real Madrid always play up or down to their opposition. I think Zidane's men now will have been alerted to that. There'll be very few mistakes from here on in by the Royal Whites. Barca, of course, are unbeaten.
Hurdling over the challenge of Rakitic's Rafa Varane. That draws a round of applause. Marcelo driving in towards the net, lays it out wide for Ronaldo. Bathed in sunlight, Ronaldo to the goal line, parried by Piqué.
They're pushing Marcelo up incredibly high in the early going, and that, of course, is a bright side for Real Madrid.
Look at the AT&T starting lineups here again today, and it is Marcelo on the left, Casemiro anchoring, Ronaldo and Benzema up front, while for Zinedine Zidane's counterpart Ernesto Valverde, few surprises. Blasted from long range, an easy gobble up for Marc-Andre ter Stegen, the 25-year-old German. 14 clean sheets this year and 45 saves. Iniesta.
It's a brilliant start for Real Madrid, showing the home field advantage 4 minutes in. Dani Carvajal taking a big pop at this, but easy pickings for ter Stegen. There's another great look at that peach of a pass from Toni Kroos. Varane wins it, peels away from his defenders like skin on a tangerine, Cristiano, but all for naught.
Marc-Andre ter Stegen has not had many blemishes this season, but he does admit the last time he played here in the second leg of the Super Cup, not happy with his performance in a 2-0 defeat.
Touch from Paulinho here.
Ronaldo out wide. Of course, Barca hasn't lost since then. Looking for an extra gear. Bangs it off of Piqué, but the deflection goes Barca's way.
Iniesta coming out before this game and saying, we have to be the protagonist. First touch from Messi. But right now, Phil, it's all Real Madrid, and they are really looking very fizzy, sharp, and they are committing plenty of attack.
Modric takes it off the hop, almost to Benzema, but Busquets reaches out to knock it back safely. 5.5 in. It seems like it's just been a blink. Looking into the sun, trying to block the glare, Piqué. Now bathed in whistles as well.
Sergio Ramos must have won the toss, and he's done the right thing, turning the advantage of that bright sun into the defender's eyes, of course. We'll see how much that has an effect this the early part of this game. It'll be gone by the second half, of course, but Ter Stegen's men, Phil, 17 clean sheets from 24 matches, clean sheets. So that's what Barca's got to break down. But they're looking up to the task here. If anything, they look extremely well balanced, confident, coming off again another World Championship, double champions in Liga, double champions in the European Cup, Champions Cup, of course. So a lot. That's a good tackle.
Casemiro reaching in, and despite the protests of his compatriot Paulinho, a clean tackle.
Yeah.
Carvajal didn't go the way he intended and puts it to the near side. Both teams almost refused to put it out into touch. Let's go down to field level, bring in Kevin Egan again. Kevin?
Yeah, worth keeping an eye on those set plays, Phil. We saw that Ronaldo goal that was ruled offside, but the man that was picking up Ronaldo was Paulinho. I thought that was a surprise before the ball was even kicked. Fell asleep completely, leaving Ronaldo unmarked. It'll be interesting to see on the next set play for Real Madrid if it is Paulinho picking up CR7 once more.
8th minute, Valverde looking on. Messi, quick touch wide. Suarez, but he's offside. That's been a problem this year for Suarez, but he seems to have righted the ship.
Well, both teams have had their difficulties this year, Phil. Cristiano, of course, missing all those games from the suspension and struggling to find his goal-scoring groove, but it's back. And Cristiano got 5 goals in the last few games, so he's certainly on. That's just a lean offside.
Ramos making it close, but one thing, Jose Sanchez making it obvious he's in charge. This has got to be a dream assignment for a referee that could turn into a nightmare in the blink of an eye. The world is watching for any mistake. Okay, stepping up into the midfield, harassed in a foul against Real Madrid.
Jordi Alba there shouting over to Valverde some instructions of how their team is reacting to this early pressure from Real Madrid.
Real Madrid 9-4-2, 30 goals scored, 11 allowed. Barcelona, the only unbeaten left in La Liga with 13 wins, 3 draws. The best offense, the best defense, tends to mean the best team. But Real Madrid looking to put that to the test.
Mario Kovacic there absolutely shadowing Lionel as expected.
Busquets. So much runs through the big 29-year-old. Dozen years in the Barcelona system. Vermaelen expected something else.
Yeah, Jordi Alba showed for it, but then just started to fade to one side.
Marcelo slips as he delivers. Ronaldo a look-away pass.
Sharp. There's the overlap on this side now.
Modric calling for Carvajal's run. One touch back, but a little off the mark. In the Super Cup, Mateo Kovacic played as a shadow, a ghost on Lionel Messi, and it worked spectacularly. Many thinking that would be his role here today, but Barcelona hasn't had enough of the ball on offense to find out if that's really the case.
Yep, certainly are on the back foot in the early going in this game. It's been impressive by Real Madrid from left to right, and Marcelo and Carvajal pushing very high. Lovely pass.
Ronaldo, a swing and a miss, and Carvajal can't get there. Iniesta's hurt as he flies in on defense, but a swing and a miss for CR7.
Beautiful play again. Just don't look at the miss from Cristiano, the lead up. Real Madrid getting way too much space and time. This ball pulled back beautifully for Cristiano. It's an easy type of strike, and he cannot believe there's got to be something wrong with his hammer if he doesn't hit this nail. A beautiful setup by Toni Kroos, and usually they are bashed home automatically.
Well, this is a bit of a concern. There was no malintent from Carvajal.
Oh, there was fire in the basement though, and certainly Iniesta had to come in and sacrifice his body and stretch, and you can see he's certainly in some serious discomfort, and this doesn't look good at all.
Iniesta has been pulled off the shelf,
Tony
taken out
Kroos pulling this one back, and you look at it time and time again in the replays and you'll not believe it, but there's the sacrifice from Iniesta, knowing that Carvajal is coming in ready to hit a red hot crack, and Don Andres really takes a bad hit.
Valverde using him a lot more than Luis Enrique did last year, and maybe one of the reasons Barcelona has been unbeatable. Second corner of the match. First one went in, but waved off. Piqué clears. Kroos lets it run.
Jogging back there now, Iniesta. See if he can run it off. Maybe just a stinger. Another good ball.
Ter Stegen thought about coming out, but it carries. Varane keeps it in. Bending ball too far for Ramos. The two center backs both pushing forward. Modric contorts, finds Carvajal. And another offside call. Nope, a push.
Again, smart play by Cristiano's men. Really taking Mother Nature into account with that high sun right into the eyes of the defenders. And they are going upstairs for the attacks and mixing it up nicely. Wonderful width from Los Blancos. And Iniesta, who is irreplaceable, looks as if he's going to give it a good try.
The funny thing is, for the national team, you could say the same, but
it's a good ball.
Isco has stepped up in that regard. Offside, Ronaldo.
Seeing his level, and I tell you what, in live time, it was extremely close. Take a look at this when it's touched.
As you take a look at the cut of the grass, looked like the assistant Raul Caballero might have gotten that one right. By the way, check out beIN Sports Connect. ISO cams on both Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, if you wish.
Better be quick cameras.
Well, everything 4K, 30 cameras in the highest of definitions this year. Paulinho. Ramos did his job. beINSports.com to get to beIN Sports Connect, and for much more on the La Liga race, there's our Twitter handles. Feel free to get involved. The world is 180 countries plus tuning in, regardless of the hour. A rare off touch from Busquets.
There's been a few of them from various players. Cristiano's getting pulled here, and referee allowing it to go. There you see the shirt pulling, and Cristiano had to rush his pass. That's a lovely lead.
Is it too much for Modric? Ter Stegen anticipates and then dummies it across the goal line. 237th meeting officially between these two sides. Real Madrid have won 95, Barcelona 92.
Another example here, this sequence of highlights from the cameras, the confidence in full frothing mode here from the Merengues.
15th minute, half hour of regulation left to go. Not a frantic start, but it has been a quick one, and Real Madrid the first out of the gate.
Impressive start for Real Madrid. Certainly a number of good chances that they have created.
Benzema
and again,
the line. Ronaldo dragging Piqué in for Benz. Spots the run of Carvajal, but stepping up was Vermaelen at the last moment.
Wonderful link up again from Cristiano and Benzema pulls the right card out of his hand, Phil. And again, wonderful support from Carvajal. The pass just not finding the hole, but impressive in its failure again. They are rattling the latch, and we haven't seen anything of the medicine man yet. Messi being very much in the shadows of this game.
Ramos stepping up to poke it free, but straight back to Barcelona. Here is Lionel Messi, 24 goals. No one has scored more for Real or Barcelona in these Clásicos.
Just hitting the net either, is it? The assists, look at that ball.
Almost curls into the path of the Argentine.
He had a beautiful pass last week, of course, Iniesta, just similar to this. And again, this one's very, very close. Looks like that one was onside. He has an axe to grind, doesn't he, Suarez?
La Liga calling that the laser wall, trying to get as razor sharp as possible.
Well, that may be the case, but maybe some of the LASIKs.
The LASIK wall?
Yeah, directed towards the linesman there.
Here's Carvajal back to Modric. Ronaldo lurking again. The flag only needs to stay down once. Up the line for Cristiano. 17 Clasico goals for him. The next would tie the legendary Di Stefano as the most ever for Real Madrid. Slow start, at least in league play. Of course, missing 5 matches at the start of the season added some rust. Getting that ejection and then the contact with the referee in the Super Cup. Barcelona taking advantage with a quick start of their own. Too far for Casemiro.
Well won by Thomas Vermaelen.
7th straight start for Vermaelen, by the way. First straight game played. Rakitic lays it off. Messi wide for Suarez. Threads it forward. Paulinho, but Varane was ready.
Stretched out now. Barcelona. Sergio Roberto out of position.
Iniesta covering in the midfield.
That's where they're going to. Good ball.
Kroos on the overlap. Bends back towards the German, but well defended.
He's unlucky again. Benzema hearing 1 or 2 whistles there for him, but he's got to play that ball. The golden needle there to be threaded. Wonderful run by Tony.
Paulinho. Many thought he was over the hill when he went to China, but gold in them are hills, said Barcelona. More goals than any other midfielder in La Liga with 6 this season. Poor touch again. Busquets seems a little off. Modric going forward. Vermaelen brings him down. That's going to be a card.
And this one should be directed towards the usually impeccable Sergio Busquets in Vermaelen's eyes, because he's got to sacrifice himself here. Usually he's impeccable, Busquets, in those sort of central positions, advanced, but when you give a ball away in that sort of situation against Real Madrid, you're dicing with death, and Vermaelen takes one literally for the team.
Smart play for Vermaelen, although he does pay the price. Many Barcelona fans looking at the starting line, but maybe thinking he's the weak spot. But it is worth noting, Barcelona have never lost a game in which Vermaelen has started. 12 wins, 3 draws. The 2 Germans on opposite ends of this play. Kroos into Busquets. Paulinho pulled back by Ramos.
Usual froth and fizz from Barcelona in this opening 20 minutes, Phil, and 1 or 2 players uncharacteristically rough with their touch and their vision, their passes, but slowly starting to get a little bit more into the rhythm of this game, despite the fact that Real Madrid are certainly playing up to his standards. It looks like a good selection on the team sheet as well. Thing he'd be wanting to look at a little bit more, Zidane, is probably getting Cristiano and Benzema a little bit more involved under pressure, deals with it nicely.
Ter Stegen, 1 touch, and Iniesta flicks it down the line, but no one there.
No other option. See a little bit of anxiety there. He knows it's a perfect start, and his team doesn't look too comfortable with that sun out in the eyes, and no way to put it out. Look out.
Modric finds a little
good
gap.
Run. Great ball.
Wide for Ronaldo on his left.
Pull
looks
back
for Benz. Drives. Carried away by Sergio Roberto.
Look at Modric begging for the ball. His arms out like a windmill, saying, feed me to Cristiano. Now he's saying his apologies. And he knows. Yep, you see that rueful look. Wonderful build-up again from the Merengues. Cristiano with a good look at goal, but he had a better look at Luka Modric, who had beautiful space to control, and smack had the ball been played into him. Again, top draw stuff from Real Madrid.
Luis Suarez being a pest. And a goal scorer again, a brace in the last match. Most convincing performance for him so far this season.
Well, this game has been on a starvation diet of service. Suarez, 21 minutes in.
Iniesta just behind. Paulinho keeps it alive.
Oh.
Messi denied.
Tried to arrow that one through to Iniesta. Would have been an absolute incredible ball, but it was well read by Real Madrid again.
A little bit of a rainbow flick by Benzema to get it out of danger. Barca dropping back. Marcelo pushing up. Threads it forward, but Piqué was ready. Off of Kroos and out.
Good reading by Gerard Piqué, down and dirty, and gets the ricochet of Toni Kroos.
Ray, after the Spanish Super Cup, when Barcelona swept, taking another look at this laser wall, and you can see Ronaldo clearly offside. After Real Madrid won both matches, home and away, in the Super Cup, Gerard Piqué said for the first time in the history of the Clásico, he thought Barcelona was inferior. They obviously have learned something since then.
Oh, nice touch.
Suarez back for Messi. Scoops it over Casemiro. Back for Messi. Casemiro still there, and it's rattled away for the corner.
First signs of real sharpness from the medicine man. Wonderful touch initially to set up the little dominoes falling, and again well shepherded into the box by the white shirts.
This will swing in towards Keylor Navas. Messi from the corner drives it. Ronaldo with a flick.
Needed to get that one, Phil. That's another great ball from Messi.
Rakitic freezes Kroos, drives it in. Suarez got the touch. Busquets will pull it back as Alba hauls it in. Zidane, bottom of the screen. FIFA best coach. And then Real Madrid through a bit of a dry patch a few weeks back, to the point where some were saying was it time to make the switch. But after back-to-back draws against Fuenlabrada and Athletic, they've now won 4 in a row.
I think Zinedine Zidane's built up his credit margin with the Royal Whites. Certainly ridiculous talk of any early exits for Zidane. Perez, of course, the Presidente, full belief in Zizou.
Well, Marc-Andre ter Stegen waits to put this one back into play. Flipped on for Suarez. Messi through to the middle. Suarez racing to get there, and Carvajal upends it.
Nice combination there between Lionel.
Calm down, says Iniesta.
And Lionel Messi, wonderful touch, and Lionel's pass just a little al dente.
Here comes Real Madrid. Masic drops it back. Much more of a link roll from Kovacic than was first appeared when he came into the lineup in place of Isco. Carvajal to the inside, wide for Modric, isolated with Iniesta.
Run.
Overlap is on. Mateo to the goal line, whips it across, but can't get it past the Belgian.
Well played by Modric. Sees the arriving Mateo Kovacic, and then this one from Mateo. The last pass was just not quite stabbed enough for Cristiano and Benzema, who were lurking like hungry vultures on that back post.
From the corner, Kroos again.
Ball.
Drives it to the center. Piqué clears, and there is a whistle. Another foul inside the box, spotted by Sanchez. Back to the Bernabeu on the sidelines, Kevin Egan.
Yeah, gentlemen, there's a growing sense of frustration around the crowd here with Karim Benzema. There was a poll in the Spanish paper AS yesterday, and the fans unanimously really voting that Benzema should be on the bench in favour of Marco Asensio was who they wanted to see. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo, earlier on in the game, exploiting all the space he can. When Sergio Roberto goes forward, he immediately tells his teammates he wants the ball on the left-hand side, stretching out Piqué as a centre-back, but he just can't seem to find that connection with Benzema right now. Huge separation between the pair.
That is one of the strengths of Benzema normally, his ability to link up with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Success all over the field by Real Madrid, in my eyes, Phil, and their progress going forward, and Messi having to drop back very deep to have any influence on this game, and it's been sporadic at best. Nothing to show for it yet for Los Blancos. But man alive, are they looking good.
Ramos.
Confident. Well played.
Marcelo. Iniesta harassing. All the way back for Navas. Well, reports that Kepa Arrizabalaga will be making the move in just a few weeks' time from Athletic Bilbao. Yet another challenger to Navas's throne. What does he have to do to erase those rumors, Ray?
You're asking his biggest fan, so anyhow, he's been impeccable and immaculate in my eyes. He's recovered from injuries well, and the era of Real Madrid has been built around Keylor Navas' strength in denying good goal-scoring opportunities to keep his team in big games.
Marcelo takes it to the goal line, sneaks it across. Piqué in good position. And back to the Brazilian, now 29 years of age. Again, can't beat Piqué.
Just trying to feed that one over the top of the towering Gerard Piqué. Benzema would have been attacking that, high kicking.
Modric down. Grew up as a Barcelona fan and now in many ways a Madrid icon since moving over from Spurs. High boot. Iniesta again not backing away. Beautiful look at the Santiago Bernabeu. Plans to renovate and expand it yet again.
Been locking down on Paulinho every time he gets close, and that pressure's been telling with a number of giveaways, but he's got nowhere to go here. That's a lovely touch by Paulinho, and Sergio Ramos knows he cannot run without his legs, and gets him down. Well played by the Brazilian. Kovacic is shadowing here, only as far as Roberto though. Back for Rakitic, who this year under Valverde, bit of a safety valve alongside Busquets. Suarez. Smart, shrewd play here by Valverde's men, weathering this white storm. That's a great ball.
In Paulinho, the volley pulled back, but he's going to have to settle for the corner.
What a ball from Messi again. An insightful ball here, delivered brilliantly. Right into stride. It's the pass dictating the run rather than the other way around. An amazing ball, and Paulinho just not able to get his knee over and steer that one down onto Navas's goal line.
First shot of the match, headed down Piqué. Second effort, Carvajal battling. Piqué goes down.
They're stretched out now.
Whistle silent as Marcelo bursts forward.
Good challenge, Jordi Alba.
Samino off for cross again.
A bullet header there from Gerard Piqué, Phil. I believe it was a real wonderful bucket full of knuckles header, and it hits a white shirt, and then he nearly got the rebound. A little fortunate that time, Barca.
Couldn't tell if it was a Real Madrid defender or Paulinho, but that had some speed on it. Here's Modric to the center circle. Marcelo. Wide for Ronaldo. Benzema coming in from the right. Drives on Roberto. Whips it across. And past the empty net.
Again, lovely squirrel on a telephone wire run. Plenty of space and time. He's backing up Sergio Roberto. Sergio feeds him on the outside, and Piqué comes across to try to get it, but it's ter Stegen's wonderful hockey-type goalkeeper save that does it again, standing up and then sinking down to stop that shot.
Close fourth corner, flying in Ronaldo, but as he launches himself at it, not able to guide it towards goal.
A wonderful technique that Gary Bailey's been admiring for so long, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. You see it in hockey all the time where the goalkeepers come out and they've got to keep themselves upright, but they're locking down that ground shot as well. Here's that wonderful ball from Lionel Messi, and it's a great save. Again, Keylor Navas, like a kangaroo on a trampoline. Brilliant save from the Costa Rican.
And again, you think back just a couple of seasons ago, not that far away from here at the airport in Madrid, ready to board a plane to Manchester, were it not for a defective fax machine. And they've won 5 titles with Navas in goal this year, more than any Real Madrid team in history. Vermaelen with help. And back to the Belgian. Titi out with a injured hamstring. Mascherano still not 100%, and perhaps, if you believe the reports, on his way to China in a few weeks' time. Rakitic dispossessed by Kroos. A lot of reports had Vermaelen on his way out in the winter window, but now Barcelona might need to keep him.
That earlier chance set up by Lionel Messi, Phil, it just shows you the vast majority of this game going in full wind behind the team in white, and then one flash of pure inspiration from Messi delivers a pixel perfect pass, and Paulinho was very close to hitting that target. It took an amazing save. Again, said it earlier, Phil, they're the types of saves that Keylor Navas has routinely made to keep his team very much in the game and set it up for the likes of Cristiano to go out and win. He needed them there.
Messi's pass intercepted. Of course, Ray then seconds later, Marc-Andre ter Stegen with a textbook save.
He's onside here.
Ronaldo with Ben, squares into the middle, deflected away at the last moment. Screaming for the corner is Ronaldo, but he's not going to get it.
Again, penetrative football from Real Madrid. Beautiful space to find Cristiano down the right. Here again, Luka Modric sees him. That's very close to being offside, but he keeps his flag down. Benzema says, feed me, baby. Beautiful delivery. And then tremendous covering from Piqué again. Pixel perfect pass again from Cristiano. Wonderful run from him. The Frenchie sees it come and sees it go. Again, lightning quick attack. You look at it time and time again. This is super slow motion, and it's coming at Keylor Navas in a blur. But he rasps it over the top. Brilliant, Keylor.
Back to the World Cup again, where he deserves to be. Keylor Navas with Costa Rica.
You say that as I hand a box of tissues to you, Phil.
Of course, in many ways, that's one of the reasons why you just swirl. Real Madrid likes to have the best goalkeeper in the world, but they'd prefer it if he was the Spanish goalkeeper.
Well won that time, Paulinho.
Suarez looking for that extra gear,
Lucky,
but then lost his balance.
Gets by Kovacic beautifully, but he's got Varane to beat. Tries to tuck it past him. Just a little heavy.
Scoreless through 35, just under 10 to go in regulation. It's been 30 matches plus since there has been a scoreless draw between these two, and 30 years since there's been one at the Santiago Bernabeu. But we could be headed there at the break. Marcelo. Cross deflected. Back for Kovacic. In fact, they've averaged nearly 4 goals a game over the last 10 meetings. Lifted for Marcelo.
Oh, he's in
stride. Tries to hold off the defense, but can't.
So unlucky. What a ball again. Marcelo controls it impeccably. And again, this time it's Barcelona locking the latch in the last second. Lovely touch.
Alba, the back heel. Iniesta, just a stride off. Of course, there is a little extra on this match coming just after the latest elections in Catalonia, where the separatist party won again. Of course, you remember when they had the referendum, Ray, the next match was in Catalonia, in Girona, which was their last defeat. And this time, the pride of Catalonia coming to the capital. Marcelo battling Sergio Roberto.
Strong play from Sergi.
Whips it across, but his aim was off.
Paulinho asking for that one to be delivered on the deck. And Sergi saying his apologies. There's a collision here. It looks as I thought it was going to be Sergio Roberto come off the worst.
It's Marcelo on the dome. Maybe a little rattled with that.
There's the abracadabra earlier from Jordi Alba, another player who's been playing spectacularly well for Valverde.
Cast aside by Luis Enrique last year, and this year maybe having the best season of his career.
A wonderful conjurer here, but it was that pass of his that was the real bewitching highlight of this game, and the clearest opportunity for Barcelona to crack the dam, but it took that ingenuity from Lionel to provide that absolute dagger of a ball. Navas comes to the rescue.
Burst of speed from Kovacic, but well covered Vermaelen again.
Playing very well. And a big TNT powder keg of a game. The Belgian international looking very assured so far alongside Piqué. Played.
Sergio Roberto rolls to the middle. Barcelona have weathered the Real Madrid storm and now looking for a lightning strike of their own. Wide for Iniesta, maybe a little too hard for Messi.
Oh, he rides it.
Don Andres for Alba, wide for Messi, across the face, headed towards goal. Paulinho denied by Navas again.
This is marbles on the top of the glass table football here by Barcelona, and it's set up by Lionel, of course. Defying it, he goes into the traffic and he pulls this one back for the ever dangerous Brazilian Paulinho. It's another cracking save by Kehler, who's at full stretch to save it, and it's almost kept in again.
Driven by Rakitic, glances clear at the 6. Messi turning Kovacic, trying to escape his ghost. Well, he eludes his shadow at times. Far side, Suarez. Wrong foot, Marcelo into the 6, cleared by Casemiro. Nice from Ronaldo. Now for Benzema, it's Real on the break. Roberto and Alba back. Ronaldo with an entourage. Pops up on Benz and the whistles swirl. Barcelona back. Carvajal, back post, Piqué again. Still in, Vermaelen scrambling to his feet, actually Sergio Roberto. Now Marcelo in the 18. Kroos scoops for Carvajal, drives it across, Vermaelen clears. Still Real, Modric, but off target.
Magnificent football from Real Madrid, and this crowd that was whistling Benzema earlier is applauding the team football, and no wonder Jordi is breathing harder than Darth Vader. They have been under incredible pressure, and he'll be okay. But certainly that counter-attack was blistering, and it was set up by a beautiful little touch pass from Marcelo, and then all the dots were joined. Here's the earlier hit in the very early going of this game that shoulda, coulda, woulda made it 1-0 on any other day. Beautifully set up by Cross for the Dark Invader, who arrives by stealth into the box, but can it meet the train at the station to punch his ticket for number 1 in this game? There's no goals to be talked about, Phil, but plenty of thrills and spills and what could have been. Here's another one.
Marcelo.
Tackle.
Second effort. Roberto plucks it away.
Read him like Jack and Jill went up the hill there. Wonderful from Roberto stepping in, but can it do anything with it? Marcelo again.
Volkswagen halftime show with all the highlights and details.
Great
Looking
ball.
to add one here. Benzema!
Oh.
And it kisses off the post for Karim.
Staggering ball over distance this. Marcelo could pick the dandruff off a wasp's wing sometimes with his passes, and he does it here in an absolutely audacious, delicious pass fed into the area for Benzema to go out and attack, and he pounces on it like Dracula on a plate of liver, but can it direct the angle of his header into the net?
Rahal with a hard hit on Alba, now flying forward himself. Ronaldo out wide for Carvajal, looking for the return.
Way too much space for Carvajal to attack.
Suarez fencing with Carvajal. It's out for the Real Madrid throw, but he gives it away to Iniesta.
Well recovered by the Croatian international.
Mentioned they have not lost a Clásico with Kovacic in the starting lineup. 2 wins and a draw. Well, Ray, in fact, they've never lost a match with Kovacic as a starter. 30 wins and 9 draws. Almost. Varane just. And Ronaldo did not get back in time.
Sergio Roberto damning deaf heaven with his bootless cries here after an absolute incredible attempt to feint Suarez. There's a good look at it. Tremendous play. Here's the red carpet pass upstairs. Bonds, Wallace, they go upstairs to bounce them, and that wonderful bouncing bomb just fades away and kisses the upright.
Gets over to Rakitic, wide for Roberto. Back to
usually so impeccable, Phil. Sergio Roberto, when he's got those opportunities, he had the time and certainly the space to pick out that big cow's field behind Varane for Sergio Roberto, for Suarez to latch onto, but his pass just missing. Nice touch.
In for Suarez, wants it back. Messi harassed again by Kovacic. Whipped long. Ter Stegen at the edge of the area. Back down to the field, bringing Kevin Egan again. Kevin, what do you have?
Well, earlier on the pre-game show, I spoke with Victor Sanchez Del Amo. He talked a lot about the high press from Real Madrid. It's something Ernesto Valverde alluded to yesterday in his press conference, saying that they couldn't deal with Real Madrid in the Spanish Supercopa. And right now, you can see that Barca trying to play out of the back on kickouts, Madrid forcing them all the way up, and they're really struggling. Los Blancos winning the ball back early.
Again, neither team unable to do anything with it. When they do, on the rare occasion, Navas and Ter Stegen have been up for the challenge. Messi moves. Marcelo got there first. They're going to call this a foul, and no argument from the Brazilian.
It's there for a nanosecond, and then Messi makes it disappear. Again, baits in. Lionel seeing the challenge coming, ghosting past him.
To added time we go, and only 1 minute.
It's a tough angle here for Lionel from this distance, but we've seen him strike pay dirt before, or at least test the goalkeeper. He'd like it a little bit closer, but he's going to have to go with this one before half-time. This is all showtime for Lionel.
Maybe the final play of this opening half. It's asking a lot from 40 yards out, but if anyone has more in his sack than Santa, it's this man. Lionel Messi. Navas a yard off his line. Drives it into the wall. It deflects wide, and that will do it. A scoreless first half at the Bernabeu.
Well, duck eggs on the scoreboard, but wonderful, radiant football. Chances at both ends. Real Madrid in the driver's seat, playing impressively, but Barcelona really showing some fangs as this first half comes to an exciting end.
Still giving it back to Barcelona, though. Here's Iniesta wide. Threads it through for Suarez. Tries to cut in, but Navas cuts it out. 33-time league champion, 6-time world champion, and defending in both, as well as a record 12 European crowns. Benzema wide. Carvajal staying forward. Karim back to Dani. Finds Luka Modric. Casemiro double teams, but gets away from Messi. Gifted by Ramos, and here's Paulinho. We were talking about this at the half, Ray. In some ways, Paulinho, the key to unlock Real Madrid's lock defense.
Now, certainly hasn't been the most sparkling of Barcelona types of performances that we're all so used to, but certainly Paulinho is the one who's been waiting in the long grass and then coming out to hunt inside of the box, and he's been found a number of times. Certainly the joker in the pack.
Stats at the half, Real Madrid actually outpossessing Barcelona, although things a little different here in the start of the second half. 9 shots to 4, 9 fouls to 2. Roberto inside Marcelo. Rakitic finds a pocket to his right.
Oh!
Suarez tight across the middle, but behind his front three.
Could he, should he have pulled the trigger there? Wonderful setup by even Rakitic that drives into the box, and Real Madrid pulling back, going into full reverse, and really thought that Suarez there had an open look at the goal. Phil resisted the opportunity to pull his well-oiled trigger.
A few whistles from the crowd. They expect more from Real Madrid. Although remember, Barcelona have won 3 of the last 4 Clásicos at the Santiago Bernabeu and have won 6 of 9.
Oh, what a bad giveaway that was. Sergio
nice
Roberto
tackle.
trying to get one of 2 players to come onto the ball and both leaving them for each other. And very close.
Good tackle by Piqué. Both Piqué and Vermaelen have been called upon today.
There have been some good performances from Barcelona. Vermaelen, one of them, Phil. I think Sergio Roberto has had a very good game as well until that nearly costly giveaway. This man's been tremendous.
Paulinho in. Suarez just couldn't find the angle. Not sure he knew Messi was lurking behind. Busquets.
Well dealt with. Nicely.
Sat out the last game, because if he would have received a caution, he would have missed the Clásico. Bit of a rough first half, but integral to Barcelona. Under pressure, Barca gives it up again, but Modric stripped by Iniesta. Maybe a veteran no call there. Tight space.
Keep playing into this space as well. No outlet. Wonderful defensive play by the Whites, locking down, but no way out for either Busquets or Rakitic to spread that open play. Again, credit the pressing of this Real Madrid side. Get this, there's like 10 players within a 5-yard area there.
There again, Keylor Navas to the rescue. Not much room to move. Kevin
Brilliant.
Egan, what do you see?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, guys, watching the matchup between Kovacic, a surprise inclusion in the team today, man v man on Lionel Messi, really frustrating the little magician every time Barcelona get on the ball. There you see it again, Kovacic, his shadow constantly, even dropping into a centre-back position. He's prepared to go that deep. Messi trying to shake him off, but the Croatian staying with him every step of the way.
We saw that earlier this year with Girona when they stuck the promising Manchester City loanee Pablo Maffeo in as a shadow. And here again you see Kovacic stepping up. Although Ray, Messi does get a little bit of space on the wings. But Mateo Kovacic like a shark in the middle.
Magic ball from Iniesta.
And Alba with a burst of speed. Top of the box, Suarez. Near post try, but Navas read it.
Great supporting run from Messi here. It was wonderful play out wide. Suarez ignores Lionel's run. Look at this on the outside. The square ball for Lionel is there to just be caressed into stride, but it's a pussycat finish by Suarez. No pop to his shot at all.
Marcelo. Casemiro pushing forward. More defensive, but he's had some success in the attack, like Paulinho this year for Barcelona. Kovacic for Kroos. Almost, but Sergio Roberto slices in. Iniesta. By the way, Iniesta, Messi, and Ramos each playing in their 37th Clásico
Amazing
today.
from Busquets, and this is where it leads to.
Rakitic spots
Nicely.
Roberto.
Magical.
Back post.
Yeah.
Suarez with the bullseye.
Sergi, Roberto, and Busquets deserve incredible applause for this. Kaleidoscopic football from Barcelona, and the dagger arrives in the shape of Suarez, but this is team football at Barcelona's best. Incredible conjuring football over distance as well. Everybody getting in on the act. When we play this one back, the collective, this is where it starts. The ingenious Busquets starts the dominoes falling. Rakitic pushes Real Madrid back. They're starting to make the sign of the cross on their shirts. Is it fed out wide here? Busquets says, see you later, alligator. A wonderful lead. The Croatian pushes them back. They nearly end up behind the goal. It's a wonderful feed. Sergio Roberto puts it on a red carpet, golden altar pass. And Suarez attacks it wonderfully and buries this one. He calibrates it and then recalibrates it and then detonates it. This is a bravado goal from Barcelona, and they tear through Real Madrid like tissue paper. Nothing lucky about that one. Taking advantage of it supremely well. What a goal.
Luis Suarez finds the net again, and after a slow start, now with his 10th goal, take a look, opening up a 9-point gap over Atleti, who were knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten, and it would be a 14-point gap over Real Madrid.
Take a look at that and you give us Suarez all the plaudits you want in the world, but for me, Busquets is the prime architect. He changed his mind 4 or 5 times deep in his own half to select and wait for the right ball. Delivered and then continually delivered, but Real Madrid bounced back.
Lifted in, Ter Stegen drops, cleared by Alba. So there will not be a scoreless draw. Suarez lowering the boom. Casemiro maybe sticking a dagger in.
Well,
trying to keep
in the
things
locker
calm.
room on Friday that this would be a potential problem for Real Madrid with the type of player Casemiro is, but really don't think there's anything in that one, Phil. And maybe a little bit of afters, but really there's not too much.
Maybe landing on the knee of the Brazilian, but it was Suarez that initiated the contact. In many ways, all of that trying to play with the referee.
The ball.
Wide for Benzema, looking for the equalizer, but finding Busquets.
And the howls of derision continue towards the Frenchman. It's a good tackle from Busquets again.
Paulinho keeps possession and his balance. Here's Messi. Ramos there. Messi. Suarez goes for goal, but wide.
Wonderful setup. Look at the run from Paulinho to Messi's left. He knows he's got Suarez and he's waiting for Paulinho to see if he can arrow this one in. Paulinho says, feed me. But it took an amazing ball to have found him. And Suarez, not so hot with that one.
Only 3 goals the first 3 months of the season for Suarez. He's now got 7 in the last month. Here's Marcelo. Real Madrid now looking to climb back into the driver's seat here. Barcelona might have locked the door.
Well, there's still way too much time to be played in a Classico for you to make them statements, Phil, especially with a bench like this of world-class footballers, difference makers, each one of them, and they'll be in, and their tigers will be fresh, and they'll be hungry. But what an amazing goal. And take a look at it again, people. You've got to maybe applaud it, and even if you're a Madridista, it was a stupefying goal.
Cross over to Modric. Ronaldo making the move. Carvajal can't get it past Alba. Throw in for Real Madrid. Just over a half hour left in regulation. Modric outside of the boot, but Rakitic was there. The goal scorer Suarez. And Ramos going through, and that's going to be worth a card.
It should be as well. Ramos comes across with his arm, I believe, in full sight of the referee, and he's asking for one here. A bit of a hot-headed play by Ramos. And we look at it again, you'll watch his arm come across right there. He slaps him down the side of the face, right in front of the referee, and there's no need. Suarez is going nowhere. What the argument is, I have no idea.
Goal coming 5 minutes ago, and let's go down to the field and check in with Kevin Egan while they deal with Suarez. Kevin.
Yeah, as we see the images, Phil, Sergio Ramos clearly not happy with that at all, but Kay Murray said it in the pre-game show. It's either be a red card for Sergio Ramos or a late equaliser, looking more like the red for now. But I was talking to Victor Sanchez Del Amo, who'll be with us in the post-game show, and he's not a fan at all of seeing Mateo Kovacic man-mark Lionel Messi, and he blames the goal on Kovacic being so focused on Messi. It opened up space in midfield, and that really cost Real Madrid.
And they are getting set to make a switch. Thanks, Kevin. We were talking about that ourselves, Ray. We were looking more for Paulinho perhaps to take advantage, but it was Suarez that was left open. And it looks like more than one switch as Zidane looks for jokers in the deck. Probably draw some of the blame for that goal as well, as he was drawn to the ball. Paulinho quickly to Messi. La Pulga tripped up, and Ramos biting his tongue this time.
Ball velcroed to his feet. As always, the feet continue to dance. Casemiro, Marcelo comes him from behind. Here's the wonderful goal, and this for me is a goal to make Scrooge smile. It's absolutely radiant football, and they fold the space in front of them like the SS Enterprise at full warp speed. Brilliant goal.
And now they've been possessing it better. Real Madrid is going to have to try and strike lightning blitzkrieg style.
Pure structure of the goal, Phil, and the pass is played with the right weight at the right time, and it happened 5 or 6 times, but I keep going back to the Busquets setup, man.
Ray, it's interesting.
Astonishing.
Jordi Alba in some ways has tilted the field. He's almost the Dani Alves this year for Barcelona. But Sergio Roberto, a unique right back. When he pushes forward, he's leading the break. Looking for Messi, kicked back. Rakitic was there. Paulinho instead, but Navas in good position.
Cannot resist it this time, and he's worked hard enough to give himself an early Christmas present, but he had better options in Blondie, Rakitic, and then Suarez over to the left side. It looked as if it was well won, but it was a foul on Mateo. Oh, he's got options here out left.
But he waits, and Busquets able to poke it free, and now it's Piqué. The big dog looking to hunt. Messi uses him as a decoy. Suarez, kick save, Navas. Still alive. Messi top of the box. Navas out. Suarez in. She's the post. Headed. But cleared. No, it's off the hand, and it looks like a penalty. And Barcelona will have a chance to double their lead as Dani Carvajal heads to the showers.
Without an argument, amazing football from Barcelona again. Each one of them wonderful in their support. Carvajal's got to pull something out of his cheating bag of tricks and tries to get away with it. But before this, Messi was amazing. Suarez kisses the upright. Paulinho tries to get there. Clear handball.
Marcelo might have been able to deflect it, but Carvajal had no idea. Now, this is not a given. Marc-Andre ter Stegen has not given up a penalty yet, but Messi's only scored 1 of 3. Navas denying one, but not this. Lionel Messi, his 54th goal of the year, and Barcelona raising a chorus of boos at the Bernabeu.
Well, his team was stripped apart in the build-up to this goal, unquestionably. And it's another goal where you look back, Phil, and it develops very deep. This is not hopeful crosses into the box from Barcelona. They gain possession, and then they tear through you, shouting up his love to her travelling fans. Messi again. Another classical goal scored for him.
25th Clasico goal, all alone atop that list.
The end result, but I'm sure by now you people with your fancy machines will have went back for the initial attack led by Barcelona. Again, a wonderful directness about them, but they ventilate each of their passes, Phil, and just chain reaction football from them in a different way that we've seen from Barcelona, but it's the Valverde way now. And again, too many good options for too many world-class players. And Benzema finally hears the result of the crowd's feelings for him.
Well, he's hit the post more than he's hit the net. Karim Benzema will exit, and we talked about the depth of the bench, Ray.
Wow.
But because of the ejection to Carvajal, they'll have to leave at least one of those attackers on the pine because Nacho has come in to shore up the back line. So taking out a forward, sticking in Nacho, Ronaldo will slide in to that CR9 role. And as you see, Gareth Bale has gone back to the bench. In for Kovacic. Maybe he'll be given a little more freedom now. Can they afford the luxury of a shadow? Deflected away. Piqué. Fans want a handball. Not going to get it. Here's Paulinho. Roberto kicked to the turf. beInSports.com for all of the latest news about El Clasico and beyond. Not the only big match this weekend.
Rolling of the dice now from Zizou. Knows that the basement's on fire. Takes 3 goals, of course, to win this one, and that's what they're looking at from the first moment where they were so impressive. But Barcelona played the conservative approach, waited in their long grass, and then came out hunting. And then in the end, both goals, Phil, despite the fact that the second one was a penalty, They were both brimming with lively invention once they got possession, and they were undressing Real Madrid on their breaks.
Heading to the final quarter of this match. And it started out like a house on fire for Real Madrid.
It certainly did.
Now it's their house that's burning.
And for all the plaudits that Kovacic may get for bottling up Lionel, you just wonder, at least I do, in hindsight of course, and it's still way too early, but Isco has been a profound influence on the way they haven't been able to get through that back line of Barcelona, especially when everything was so clicking in the first half. It can be argued all day that it was because of Kovacic's involvement, but I'm not so sure.
Barcelona bleeding the clock a bit, gives us a chance to go downfield level, bring in Kevin Egan with some substitutes getting ready.
Yeah, and why are they bleeding the clock? Because you have Asensio and Gareth Bale standing there for over 2 minutes now waiting to come in, and Barcelona have just held the ball. Real Madrid can't get it back. Obviously those players now have to wait until the ball is out of play.
Frustration building at the Bernabeu. Here's Piqué marauding forward.
It's this type of bravery that's led to a 2-0 game. In the setup of this game, you wonder if Zidane will take some criticism for truly just not being brave enough in the lineup. Again, easy to say because it could have been so different. Real Madrid started extremely impressively, but the table is well and truly massively tilted now.
And there will be questions to answer. Off to the races. No foul as Alba seemed to be knocked askew.
Yeah, I think he's making the most of it. Nacho stepping in, look out.
Messi strips Marcelo, in for Paulinho, poked away by Ramos. Out comes Navas to gobble it up. Well, the fact he's given up 2 goals will probably fuel the Kepa fire, but don't think you can blame Navas for either.
Ridiculous.
Kovacic maybe his final play of this Clásico.
Been shimmering all game long. Iniesta, it may not be his most big standout performance. Look out.
Messi finds a gap. Kovacic strips, but briefly Messi denied, and one-handed save by Navas.
Just darting to the left, and it's always going to be a reach for Lionel, but he still pulls the trigger, and a lot of goalkeepers may not have narrowed that angle down and still had the wonderful reflex save to stop that one, but Navas does.
Jordi Alba, so vital to the Barcelona attack this year, has been more responsible on the defensive side today. Now off to Piqué. Probably not feeling too inferior at the moment. 20 minutes remain. Suarez. Again, a man down. Real Madrid still trying to figure out how the puzzle pieces go together.
Suarez wanted that one back from Lionel. It's a great dynamic run from Suarez, and Lionel saying his apologies, but again, well, they're keeping possession of this. Death by 100 passes as usual, and taunting this crowd with their possession game now, and to good effect.
Possession 9/10 of a win for Barcelona.
Sands of time run through the hourglass, all too slowly for Barcelona.
Well, Blanco Navidad was the sign from the Barra Brava before the match. Promise of a white Christmas, but Real Madrid being blanked. They need a goal here. Marcelo wide for Ronaldo. Piqué with them across the goal, cleared high by Iniesta.
Sergio Roberto there, just a little bit too lax and a little bit too ultra confident. The way he's been playing, you can hardly blame him. And this is again Barcelona at their best, and again passing is a technically transmitted disease from Barcelona, and both of these goals have been led by that.
And finally, Zinedine Zidane will be able to make the switch.
This is it again. a good pass from Busquets. There's usually 3 or 4 others. That's how far down the road Busquets can see the game develop. And look at that. This yellow cat grows wings again to keep the scoreline down.
Casemiro has been pulled.
Impactful player, of course. Unquestionably.
Kovacic, the other player, pulled, so there's no real defensive midfielder out there. Down a man, Modric and Kroos will have to play 2 ways as they throw 4 into the attack.
Absolutely bullets this one. Bursts the net. Navas springs hopefully to the right side, but the power and placement again just too good. Kids at home, don't try shooting like that. It'll put your eye out.
Well, if there might be a savior off the bench, Gareth Bale might not be it. Spent much of the season injured.
Just shallow.
Marco Asensio, 4 goals and 3 assists this season for Real Madrid. Looks like Barcelona might be ready to make a switch themselves as Nelson Semedo has been called back to the bench. Will they be pulling Sergio Roberto? More likely pulling Iniesta and sliding Roberto to the midfield. Here's Kroos quickly getting rid of it as Messi tried to pounce. Marcelo. Asensio. Did it hit the hands? The hands behind the back. But again, ball to hand. Ref disagrees with the crowd.
Just got deja vu.
Iniesta. Such a sparkling season for the 33-year-old who steps in to a Clásico.
I look back at this game in the months to come and you see the involvement from Iniesta in that first half, Phil, as Barcelona were under pressure and under threat, and Iniesta seeing out this game very impressively, hugely influential in this match, but he can spread the wealth right across, certainly in this second half. Every one of them has stood up from the defence right through the midfield, leading up El Pistolero, who's been the damage man along with Messi on the score sheet. But this has been an incredible, wonderful performance. The conservative nature, the way Barcelona started this game, quelling the fire of Real Madrid. But they've got their lead and it's a comfortable one.
Sergio Roberto back to Ter Stegen. Almost like a rondo, but gifted here. Kroos couldn't quite keep it close.
A little bit too cheeky there was Busquets again. Lovely lead, but this one, the arms are behind the back and they're turning away.
Although he turns into the ball.
Right.
We could see that and probably should have, but Jose Sanchez, who has not been shy for calling penalties, he's already called 3 this year. A foul. Varane going into Messi, and Messi returning the favor. And it is Semedo, fresh legs in defense. Must have been caught in the draft. And Iniesta handing off the armbands to Lionel Messi before he exits. Lots of whistles.
Well, he got a standing ovation the last time. He was so imperious in this stadium in that 4-0 win. But not this time. It's too much to bear for the Madridistas.
Of course, Ray, you think about that mano that Barcelona put on Real Madrid in the past. Ronaldinho back in 2005 getting a standing ovation from the fans. This is a different type of game, but in many ways it's been just as dominant. The red card making things easier by giving them the second penalty, but Barcelona coming out in the second half, Ray, a different team.
The manner in which they scored their goals should be thunderously applauded, because despite the fact that it was a penalty and it was clearly, obviously a pen, where they upped the ante, and each one of them, again, there hasn't been really a standout player. This is the Valverde way, and as I said, in that first half hasn't been the most sparkling of performances by Barcelona by their usual standards. It's just a different way, a different style. Look out!
Chance for Asensio. Ronaldo making the move. Asensio squares. Vermaelen clears.
Who has been absolutely wonderful in this game and tremendous with his fist shake and defending.
Flicked away by Alba. Modric cuts back to the right. Bursts to the 6. Trickles in. Bale. Ter Stegen.
Gareth Bale here, a fish up a tree finish, and it's just because of his lack of game sharpness, Phil. This one usually is rasped home upstairs, but Bale misses. Wonderful step in. Nacho.
Poking it off the boot of Lionel Messi.
Well, that could have been the spark that led to a revolution, but it's snuffed out in the end. Ter Stegen.
Bale out wide on that right side. Needs to cut into his shooting foot. Asensio adding a spark off the bench. Well, this means Isco will be a spectator as Zidane has laid all 3 wild cards on the table. Marcelo rifles it in. Ronaldo tried to settle. Vermaelen got away from him, but finds Suarez. Taken away Modric.
Ravenous now, Real Madrid, desperate for this one. And Gareth
rifles it in. Bobbled by Ter Stegen, but he keeps it close.
Oh, what a rasp this is, a red-hot crack from the fire-breathing Welshman. And he steps through this one with 1.21 gigawatts, and he cannot hold on to this. Too hot to handle. Marcelo cannot hit the accelerator.
And they have moved Sergio Roberto to the midfield with Semedo, the first-year player out of Benfica, slotting in at right back. And here he is on the ball. Nice, sending it wide. Roberto, one touch to the middle, now threaded forward. Semedo using his speed, slices it through Navas, but wide. Deflected for the corner.
Wonderful run into the space. He absolutely ghosted into this one. Wonderful Sergio Roberto has already taken the pictures. Darts it, Messi, first time pass is immaculate. But again, it's this wonderful Keylor Navas making the 6-yard box an octopus's garden. At the other end, this one falls to Gareth. It's a little bit behind him. He does his damnedest, but Ter Stegen down and dirty to deny.
There, the difference, left foot versus right foot for Gareth Bale. Make that 4th corner for Barcelona, 9th of the game. Edge of the 6, headed clear Ronaldo, but he had to retreat. 10 minutes remain, and Barcelona looking to take more time off the clock. It's only been about 4 months since Real Madrid swept through the Spanish Super Cup. But it seems like a totally different universe today.
As we said earlier, Phil, the first half of this season has been pretty amazing. Any which way you look at it, whether it's Real Madrid's struggles and Cristiano's efforts to try to find his usual inspirational performances, it hasn't been there.
Nice from
Barcelona
Roberto.
doing it a whole different sort of way, and yet imperious and unbeatable.
Mourinho over to Messi. Modric scrambling to keep up, and does, and starting to break the other way. Bale, can he find an opening? Not with Busquets around. We're still thinking of that cup final where he left Marc Bartra in his wake. maybe the highlight of his Clásicos, maybe one of the only. Now Marcelo chipping it in, but couldn't keep it in, deflected by Semedo. The ball boy, very active, setting the corners quickly. In for Kroos, knocks it into Rakitic, no penalty. Ter Stegen again called to the rescue, but Vermaelen got there as well.
Ramos arrives beautifully and absolutely flamed through as this one. This is another incredible save by Ter Stegen, giving Ramos nothing to shoot at. And he's got to hope that Ter Stegen isn't up to the task, but again, the German international, wonderful with that goal-denying save.
Second penalty shout for Marcelo, one shout too many for Jose Sanchez. Curled in, deflected down.
Man, that was close.
Asensio to Modric.
Nicely.
In for Ronaldo, and it's just flashing past the boots of Sergio Ramos, denied again.
And the captain swoops in like Tarzan at the end of a vein here and is a cleat's length away from it. Ball gets fed out from Modric. Lovely ball for Cristiano, tries to set the table. Maybe it should have been offside, but the flag stays down. Handball again denied as he's turning away, but it falls. Again, the ball hitting the hand and no attempt to play the ball. But here, it's a great effort by Sergio Ramos, and it looks like it hits Ter Stegen right on the shoulder. Marvellous in his positioning again.
Gomes coming in for Paulinho, and what a performance from the Brazilian.
Tremendous industry, but more than that, wonderful composure and smart play. And a real influence on this midfield that have had their hands full against the Real Madrid team that has been up for the battle all game long. But they've just been put to the sword.
Gomes with his first touch. Back to Lionel Messi. And Ray, that is a concern. Real Madrid, 30 goals this season, a little under par, but more than 2/3 have come in the first half. Only 9 goals for Real Madrid in the second. Only 2 teams in La Liga have worse offenses.
The ball.
Chance now again. Teed up for Suarez, deflected away. Actually, Gomes coming in.
Great ball from Lionel. Again, it's off his feet so quickly. It's a poor first touch by the Portuguese man to set himself up. And the chance goes begging.
Well, is that man under pressure now, Ray? 14 points off the pace. 5 titles this year.
This one, it comes into him like a howitzer, but he stands up so bravely and narrows that angle, covers the inside of the post. Marvelous.
5th corner for Messi in Barcelona. By the way, no one scored more goals in the second half than Barca, now with 30 of them.
Good
and
play.
Looking for more. Rakitic driving in, Bale defending. Kroos. Ramos now pushing up. It is Sergio Ramos' time, but is there enough time? Asensio
Cleared.
and Messi on defense.
The lingering questions will be in all of the papers tomorrow. I'll guarantee you that. Is where was Isco? And that player was a big absence. Arguably the best player for Real Madrid, not just for this season, but last season as well. His influence kept off for tactical reasons. And, well, they paid the price. And it's not all down to that, of course, because easy to forget, Phil, how many great chances Real Madrid did have in that first half, but this is all Barcelona now.
Sergio Roberto starting it. Messi looking to finish. Still
Magic.
Alive in the 18. Messi across, but deflected by Varane. Another corner.
Tries to set it up for Suarez with a chip and gives him the thumbs up for the run away to that back post. Peels away from the defenders, like tissue on a toilet roll, Suarez, but the magical Messi just cannot get his sand wedge out and strike it. 2 5-time Ballon d'Or winners out there today. I'll leave it to you viewers to who had the most influence in this particular game.
This will swing in towards Navas again. Ronaldo heading it high in the air. Messi meets it, parried away by the Tico. And Kevin Egan, it looks like there might be a little bit more space in the front row at the Bernabeu now.
So many fans, Phil, starting to leave the stadium at this stage of the game. Still lots of time to go. Just dejected. I spoke with a few Real Madrid fans at halftime who were beaming about their team's first half performance. They just find this one hard to believe. The second half, a real gut punch for Real Madrid.
Yeah. Again, there's times for making changes, and the bravery needed to be demanded from the Real Madrid tactician for his team, because they were unfortunate in that first half, Phil. But then, when they had the tail so much up in the air, if you're going to put in a score at any time, maybe it should have been soon after this second half begun. But it'll all be gossip now, because the scoreline tells the real story.
That means with that yellow card, Busquets will not be available for the first league match of the new year at home against Levante. I think Barcelona will take it. About 40 yards out from the center of the goal on an angle. Kroos, maybe the best deliverer on the pitch right now. Flicked on by Varane, but Ramos was offside.
Be disappointed either way. Would have cost for nothing anyhow. As you say, a wonderful ball delivered.
And Ray,
here's that one from Messi, who sees it dropping like a big snowball out of a snowy sky and still gets onto it and tests Kehler, who was arguably being man of the match for Real Madrid again.
Cautious was the word of the first half. And while it's played out brilliantly for Ernesto Valverde, for Zinedine Zidane, the fact that they were the home team, they were the team that had the need.
Can't disagree with that at all, Phil. And that's why I think a lot of us were surprised that the most influential player for Real Madrid in their most desperate hour of need was kept on the bench and out of this side. I'll say it again, Isco, Real Madrid, when he is in the team, have proven to be a better side. And for all of the naysayers and the skeptics and the cynics, the results will show you, especially in the big games. It's why they are double world champions, double European Cup champions. It's been Isco in a lot of ways. But
well, Ray, immediately following this match, they'll be kicking it off in a mini derby of their own, Valencia against Villarreal. Valencia, maybe the only team that can challenge Barcelona after Atletico was held. And beaten so many times, you see, as Messi looking to lead the way for a third with 3 minutes added. Suarez, or actually Gomes again trying to caress it. So many times you see the headlines in Spain where they say I Liga. There is a league, there is a battle.
You want the space. Messi gives you everything. Time, space, and then this fish up a tree finish. Again, wonderful supply, not even testing Navas that time.
Here the player's eye vision from Sergio Roberto. One touch pass.
Again, it's the thunder at the end of the lightning, but the build up to that goal is a goal that will keep the Barcelona fans perky for more than 4 hours.
And again, Ray, the question about the headlines tomorrow might be I Liga again, but there will be a huge question mark after it. Barcelona throwing their spear right in the center circle of the Bernabeu. And here a chance. Vidal in, tries to square. Varane snuffs it out, but it will be another corner. and half of the added time has already trickled away.
Again, he's been working like a one-eyed cat trying to cover 3 mouse holes. Keylor Navas. Where was his support up front? Where were his game changers up top and in the midfield? There's a couple of them, Phil, in the white shirts that were absolutely anonymous in this second half.
8 saves for Keylor Navas on the day, but it hasn't been enough. Final minute at the Bernabeu as Barcelona looking to win the 4th of the last 5 meetings here. Messi.
Magic.
Cuts through Marcelo. Top of the box.
Goal.
Trickles under Navas, and it is in for 3. Alex Vidal from Lionel Messi. A Christmas gift wrapped in the prettiest of bows.
Again, wonderful connected football in Messi's world, where the impossible becomes the inevitable. It's Alex Vidal who's the broken bottle at the end of this attack. Messi again decorates this one. Wonderful. More twists and turns than a cheap garden horse, Lionel. He keeps this one in. And then it all starts to fall into place. Right here, the ball kept alive. The linesman on top of it. He says to Marcelo, do you want to dance? Well, let me show you my paso doble. Then sets the table for Vidal. Again, Messi. Centipedes fantasize about having one left leg like his. Wonderful dispatch. But it's all about Messi. He could construct a sandcastle with that left foot. Keylor does his damnedest again. Authoritative wrecking ball that Valverde sent out, and that is all she wrote. It's good night Vienna, and possibly good night to the La Liga race, unless Atletico Madrid can resurrect themselves and Real Madrid pull off the miracle of miracles now. Magic, Barca and Messi.